Welcome to Real Money Talks. Real strategies from the moneymakers and the world changers that you can use to make millions, keep those millions, multiply your wealth, and build your team. Here's your host, author of 5 New York Times bestsellers, money expert on Dr. Phil, CNN, CNBC, The Street TV, Fox News, and The View, Loral Langemeier.
All right. Very good. We are broadcasting live. This is awesome. Let's get some people in here. Perfect. We got people that were waiting. This is excellent. I know we had over 1,000 people registered for this, so we're very excited to have you guys. My name is Brian Schofield. I am going to be hosting and moderating today with Loral in this. We've got this is our New Year, New You. We do this every year. We love doing these. It's one of Loral's favorite events to put on. You'll notice on the screen, you're going to see a different logo here, something you're not used to seeing. You're going to see IWS, Integrated Wealth Systems. Not Live Out Loud anymore. Just like a New Year, New You for you guys, we're doing a New Year, New You for us as well. So I'll let Loral explain this in a little bit. But we're, again, very excited to start this year, introduce our new brand, and really get going with this because it's really about who we are. First question I want to ask you guys before we introduce Loral, before we really get started, and I want you guys to use the chat to fill this in. But what are some of the things for this new year? What's one of your commitments? What's one of your goals? What are you really trying to accomplish this year? And I want you guys to just take a minute, go ahead and put that into the chat so we can know. All right, we got one that already says they want to double their income. Perfect. Catherine says she wants financial and time freedom. Ellen says she wants to produce more paintings. Linda says she wants to get more involved in investing. So we've got a lot of people that are, this is perfect, guys. Keep these things coming. This is excellent. Increase our wealth. Passive line of income started in notes. Develop cannabis money. We've got a lot of different things. Debbie wants to grow her business, get more involved in investing. So this is excellent. So keep these coming. And again, if you come up with something as we're talking, again, don't be afraid to put this in. What it really helps us with is it gives us a good idea what direction you guys are headed, what you're looking for from Integrated Wealth Systems, from Loral, from us. Our job here is to help you guys be successful. That's what we're really looking for. That's what we're about. Loral has put a lot of time, effort, and resources into this event. We want to make it as worthwhile as possible. So to do that, we need feedback from you guys. And appreciate you. So thank you guys again for being with us. Again, my name is Brian Schofield. I'm going to introduce Loral next. For those that don't know Loral, because I know we have a bunch that are not as familiar with her, but Loral is a 5-time best-selling author, New York Times best-selling author. Her most famous book, of course, is The Millionaire Maker, and she's done wonders for people in their finances. So for us that have been part of her community and get to see her and talk to her and be around her, the stuff that we've learned from her is priceless. I mean, everything that she teaches, we practice. We all have our own corporations. We all have our own companies that we're set up with. So you can't get the full idea of Loral until you hear her or see her. I'm a big proponent of this. So that's why I'm really excited to introduce her today. Loral Langemeier, are you out there?
I am. It's great to be with you and all of you that are joining. And right before the call, we topped right over 1,200 people. So great response. And I love this. I mean, how many years have we been doing this? Maybe 10 plus years. It has been one of our signature programs we do to help you launch your year and complete 2018. A lot of people don't complete a year. They just move on to the next year. They end up with the same goals in the same year, and year 1 looks like year 2, year 3, and you never really get the shift. And, the 2 biggest resolutions is I'm going to lose weight and I'm going to make money. And so all of you that are out there, how many times and how many years have you said that, or something that seems like that? Or the third one is I'm going to have the greatest relationship. Something like that is interesting, not helpful. So our goal by this call is to change your results and to have a very different 2019. Now, if you had a great 18, then I'm going to say, I'm not going to say 10x it, but some people will 10x it. With what we're talking about tonight with crypto, blockchain, digital currency is going to change our financial infrastructure around the world. And with cannabis becoming legal in Canada and then a 40% drop because they overproduce without clean weed, all sorts of stuff's going to happen in these 2 markets. We're calling it the BCC, right? The blockchain, crypto, and cannabis year. And more generational wealth has changed in the last 20 months. That's less than 2 years than has ever in the history of our world ever happened. So it's happening. You can sit on your ass and just do nothing, or you can make 2019 a pivotal year, which means because these are all new industries, those who get on the front side really get to make the rules. And I have partners in the cannabis space. We launched into that 2017 that we've been in. So a couple of years already into the cannabis space. And again, really on the front end, one of my partners actually is the counsel and advisor to the province of Alberta, Canada. Because again, if you're on the front side of these three new industries, it'd be like the beginning of the 1997 and be on the front of the computers and the fax machines. So you're at an amazing time in life to have 2019 and go forward be an absolutely game changer. So if you're up for that, then we're up for setting those goals. So Brian, let's just jump in. One thing I do want to say is go get a pencil and pen. We are going to have you make some commitments. And our goal and commitment to you is that we're here. We have been here. We have been sustainable for decades. And we want you to have a very different year. We can only kind of lead you there. You have to do the work. We can do your tax returns. We can do your wills, your trusts. We can do a lot for you and the team that I have. We'll do that for you, but you got to make the commitment. So that's what this call is about. And keep talking out in the chat line. And there'll be places where I'll get to some of these questions because some of them, like the one about paying off your mortgage, I would say you shouldn't. So we're not Susie Orman, we're not Dave Ramsey, and we are not David Bach or a financial institute. We're the alternative. So we're going to tell you why. And please, I didn't mean to just point and pick on somebody, but I really want to start having, and we're going to talk about what we do that's so different that teaches you how to create wealth, because what we're taught is completely wrong. So let's keep moving on. We have to do this legal disclaimer. My lawyers say I have to show this every time I talk. I say, why? I'm just educating. Well, because I know so much after all these years, we're going to talk about the tax reform. We're going to talk about some legal issues. We're going to talk about strategy. So we're going to be right on the line of talking about everything you need to know about so we can help you make the right choices and the right commitments. So with that, let's talk about the Integrated Wealth Systems mission, right? So IWS, you'll hear that over and over. We're committed to creating and building sustainable wealth, really, by changing the conversation about money in households around the world. So very similar to what Live Out Loud has done and did, but Live Out Loud as a brand, we left it behind in 2018. We left that brand behind. It's been great. The company still stands. It's doing its thing. But when we found this brand, and we had some great brand people this year around us, really, after you do stuff for a while and it's sustainable, you kind of got to change it up. And we're doing an enormous overhaul. So from our branding to, let's go to the next one. So the branding to our app. So we've been promising to use it this year. We will. This, a lot of things will become a way we communicate. Like a lot of you that are in business, you realize that your click-through rates, your open rates for your email, your conversion rates are all going down. And just like Facebook and Google are trying to manipulate lots of the ad spends to how we get to market, to how we do things, like all of our BCC themes, it's really tough to market, cannabis and crypto when you can't use it on Facebook and the internet. So there's going to be a lot of workarounds, and using our app will be one of them. So if you've not downloaded our app, please do. And as we move into this year, we are going to commit to sending emails that say, hey, check your app. Hey, check your app. And we'll be doing a lot of our community updates in the Ask Loral app and continuing to use that and do updates and announcements. The other awesome thing is this. So this went live today, and thank you specifically, Thomas, for leading this through. This has been about a year, right? About a year ago, we got the brand, and we've been working on it with a huge team. The original team was out of Australia, and then several of our actual clients that are, amazing SEO and branding folks. So not only did we get Integrated Wealth Systems, so when you go to Live Out Loud, it will redirect over here, and we're still going to talk about the conversations. Like, our content hasn't changed. How we speak about what we do is changing, because we want to get clear, and integrated wealth is what we do. And I'll continue to speak to that. So with that, we put together an Integrated Wealth Academy. This used to be called the Millionaire Maker Academy, and then Google and Facebook said you can't use those words. So then we changed it to the Live Out Loud Academy. And again, what's Live Out Loud? If you actually, our search criteria goes against a lot of people. Oprah uses the term Live Out Loud. Who else uses it? A very gay and lesbian community uses it. An educational school community uses it in Canada. Somebody completely ripped me off in South Africa. We battled there. So instead of, going to battle and trying to defend Live Out Loud, which has been great and has put us on the map in many ways, this is exactly what we do. We also have the Integrated Wealth team. And the way that we're going to be working this year is think of us as the integrated facilitators. So we're going to be helping you form your team, use our team, and the Academy is the place where all of the millionaire content, the blueprints, and all of that are going to live. So watch for all of those as you come live, and it's exciting times. So those are our big announcements for 2019. So again, I'm just going to click back at the app, visit our new website, take our new quiz. You're just going to see new and up-leveled processes in the way that we do this. And then the Academy will have a launch, and it's going to be a really cool launch. So stay tuned. That's coming out within the next probably 10 days, for sure, before the end of the month. And Big Table members, I'll answer some of these as they're going along. The new website is integratedwealthsystems.com. So integratedwealthsystems.com is our new website. The table members, you will still be served as table members. In fact, you will be bonused into a ton of this stuff in the Academy. Yes, it will, essentially replacing the old MMA, which was the Millionaire Maker Academy. So we've just continued this whole year. We've had massive content updates, and it's exciting. We've updated our Amazon. We've updated our Wikipedia. We've updated so much. So we're ready to roll into a new generation of what we've taught. And now we have 3 awesome new industries called blockchain, crypto, and cannabis to teach you about. But Big Table members, we will still stand, and you will always be able to get great deals because you're a lifetime member. And that's the other thing, too. If you didn't know that, I still run into people from 2005, 6, and 7 in the Big Table that don't realize we've moved it to a lifetime membership. So it's a membership one time, and you got to keep coming back. In fact, Thomas, if you want to list out for the Big Table members, where we're going to be, we're only doing 6 tables, 3 session 1s and 3 momentums. So
if you go to the new website and click on the events tab, scroll down to the bottom, you will see both where the foundation sessions, what dates those will be, and the momentum sessions, where those are going to be. I know I don't want to step on your toes, Laurel, but I know we have some planned for this year. And to tease out the new website, if you go to integratedwealthsystems.com, click on the events tab at the top right of the page, you'll be able to see those fun locations this year.
Yeah. And like really, really great. Real estate's leveling out. Everyone knows it's starting to take a level, but the markets we have found for you to continue to grow in are extraordinary. So I will just speak to that. So we're going to the Ozarks. Jimmy Buffett bought the biggest resort, remodeled it, making the biggest Margaritaville in his real estate portfolio in the nation. And we are buying right along the lake with boats. We're going to have a boat company. We're having a jet ski company, and we'll be doing vacation rentals and some just great fun partners. You can do that passively, do that actively, but we're going to show you how it's done. And then we're obviously going to be showing you our cannabis, our greenhouses, our outdoor grow. We're the only folks in Nevada that have that. And we will be heading back to Ohio, an extraordinary market where we love that real estate. So good stuff going on. Those of you that are not on the table, you can go on the tours, but you won't be able to do the entire sequence with us. Now, a month ago, let's go back to what we are going to continue. We're going to continue the Ask Laurels. So Ask Laurel in December was around a lot of asking questions, but it's also around completing 2018. And some of you did it. It was a race to the finish line. You got incorporated. You got your trust. You got your will. You reviewed your insurance. You did the things we've asked you to do. And again, that's where you do have to do that. We can't sign your documents for you. We're not a financial institute like that. Just like, if you needed your wisdom teeth pulled, your dentist has to do that. You have to show up and have it done. So you do have to show up. You have to sign docs. You have to learn. And our job is to facilitate it, integrate that learning. And we did something very cool the team made up, which is this. It's actually still under the Live Out Loud banner. It will redirect, but it's called Treat Yourself. So we did is we went back to all of our extraordinary online books and programs and even the game. Actually, the game will be delivered to you. And we put it on sale. And I checked, like we said, on sale, this is crazy. The discounts are enormous, but it was a way to treat yourself for the holiday. We had a lot of you buying games. We had a huge, huge spree of games bought and sent all over the world to people that you love. So it's always a great way to give that. So this special of treating yourself and all these deals, like the game's more than half price, almost everything's over 50% off. So go check it out and click through it. Do any final shopping because Friday, by the end of the day at 5 o'clock, this will be all shut off and back to retail prices. So if you would like to treat yourself, you are welcome to continue that as we wrap that up. Now, as we head into the year, again, like I said, most people have the same year, right? They still want to lose weight. They still want to do whatever, or they want to travel, they want to make money, and it doesn't happen. So if that was your 2018, 18 was a huge, I'm going to say, conversion year for us, converting from one brand to the next brand. We up-leveled a lot of team members. We added a lot of team members. We added a lot of clients. So with clients, we need more help. So we've added a whole accounting team. We've added several bookkeeping teams. We added a corporate compliance team. We added a world-class international trust lawyer. We've done personal property trust inside your Roths. We've added so many financial products that you can't find on the open market unless you have connections. And that's part of the integration of this team. So when you think about a commitment, get really serious about what we're doing in this next hour and a half together, because we're going to give you some opportunities to really jump in and be on the cutting edge and the front edge of the blockchain and crypto learning. Very few people understand it. There's a lot of scams and just shitty stuff that's going on out there. Just like when the .com came alive, there was so many .coms that just got funded with big ideas and still didn't even have a website. So there's a lot of coin that's out there that did the same thing. They're just taking advantage of the hype. It's called the arbitrage. And I have found world-leading teammates to now teach and educate and bring us to the forefront. Because like anything, when this hits mainstream, you're going to be behind, way behind. So we're going to get that to the end of the call. And I'm going to actually bring on our blockchain crypto partners and give a great opportunity for you to be on the front side of the community we're building inside of the Integrated Wealth Systems team. So if you didn't have a pen and paper, go grab one. And let's just talk about commitments. So commitments are very different. They're not negotiable. Resolutions, they tend to go away. I think the statistic is within 10 days. You kind of forget what you said January 1. We're at January 8th, so you might not even have wrote them down. And commitments get results. So when I say they're not negotiable, the outcome is not negotiable. How you get there has to be negotiable, right? Because things are changing and learning and evolving. So you don't just make a commitment and, I'm just going to say some harsh stuff. The laws change. You're not going to, continue that path. If you want to, have a commitment of losing weight, making money, we're going to get specific, and the result's going to show up in your bank account in the way that we talk about it. Your bank account is a direct reflection of the amount of people you're serving during your year. So if you look at this, over 88% of the resolutions fail, most by the end of January. The real statistic, like I said, is about 10 days, which means over 200 million people failed last year. And you might be one of those. And again, this isn't a pick on you kind of a call. This is let's get motivated. Let's get serious. In our world, we always say the strong survive. We're here to make millionaires. And if you're here just to listen and just take a crumb here and take a crumb here and think you're going to put it together without some meticulous guidance, that would be like having some, medical diagnosis and you think you're going to go, heal yourself. And, you don't even have a surgery with one doctor. It takes usually a team of 3 to 5 doctors to have a proper surgery. So why you try to do what I call your financial surgery alone it's crazy to me. Some of you spend more money in gyms and weight loss programs and paying for odd things, and you haven't really paid to learn about money, like properly learn about money. So again, lack of action and the consistent right action, which we call sequencing, is why most people fail. Financially, I can guarantee you that you fail because your sequence isn't right. So what I mean by that, I'll give you an example. A lot of you want to go get out of debt, then start investing. Completely the wrong sequence. You make money, you get it invested, and eventually you pay off debt. So, again, we're not Susie Orman. We're not Dave Ramsey or Dave Bach. They teach completely traditional models. We're completely the alternative model, and we integrate a team. Another out of sequence is paying off debt's the worst because that just wastes your money. Yeah, you probably overspent. You did all sorts of things. I would say not getting incorporated right away. So why even begin? It drives me crazy. I had a client call me yesterday and say, I'm going to postpone, working with you personally. That's called head of the table, by the way, because I want to go to a marketing class. And so that's great. So you're learn to market to generate more leads and put them in your sole proprietor business that has no tax benefits. So you're completely out of sequence. Let's get your company right. Have the company buy the class. Now you have 100% deduction. So what we say is so critical in the timing of how you spend your money and where you spend your money and how you make your money. And our commitment to you is that your job in this call and over the next, time with us is to say yes. We'll help you figure it out. You don't know how we do. And that's not a criticism. It's the truth. We were taught so poorly. And I'm going to go into that on this cool new technology we're going to be using. And I'm going to show you what we do that is so meticulously different. So before we do that, though, I'll come back to these. Money is critical. If you don't know about money and you haven't stopped to learn about money, I would just ask you the question of when would that be the number one commitment of your life? You spend money every day. You got food today. You got gas today. You might have paid a mortgage. You might have paid a bill. And you just casually throw your money around. Hopefully money's going to be made and you don't know a lot about it. So our job's to teach you and to bring you a team for the rest of your life that you don't have to worry about you having to know it all. You just have to help lead it. The other areas we're going to be talking about is career and personal development. We're going to talk about this as far as commitments. We are going to get into other areas like health, spirituality, your family, significant relationship, your physical environment, and you should have some fun and friends. So we're going to talk about the commitments and the keys to success are having it all life. I hate the word balance because balance would assume that you're going to take, and do 1/8 of everything, these 8 things. And what we're going to challenge you, and I'm going to challenge you now, is to commit to say, what are the 2 things this year that you're going to nail? Like, you're not just going to kind of get them done. You're going to nail it. And I hope that money is one of them. That's where we're here to be your team, to be your coaching team, to be that integrated team for you. Some of you need to do some personal development. Some of you really need to handle your health so you can go make more money. Some of you don't understand the connection between spirituality and money at all. And some of you have never set family goals, significant relationships, and physical environment. That's another thing this year. In fact, we're sitting in our new office in Carson City, Nevada. We have a very cool new office. We've moved out of Utah. We're moving a lot of our stuff off the mountain in Tahoe. It's always been difficult to hire a team up there. Once my son graduated, my rules changed. So we moved off the mountain. I sold my big estate home I never thought I'd sell. I did a lot last year in 2018 to shift my physical environment, which will change our monetary environment and change the team. So cool stuff. And then fun and friends, you just got to have them. So we're going to talk more as we get into our session, but let's talk about what we do different, right? So that's you, that's me, and there's our integrated team. So if you look around this wheel, it is absolutely critical you do this in the right sequence. So before we do that, this is critical. So if you're doing anything else, stop now, pay attention, because this is what makes what we do at Integrated Wealth so different. What we're taught since 1933 is to do this, get a job, right? And then if you need more money, get another job. This is what Susie, Dave, and Dave would teach you. And if you need more money, get another job. And then this money, this kind of money, and I'm not saying don't have a job. I have a job. I work for one of my S Corps, and I work for a C Corp. So I'm an employee of my own company. And there's reasons for that I'll tell you in a moment. But if you're not, you work for someone else, you have a W-2 paycheck, then you are taxed at the highest rate. So typically, people are taxed between 40 and 50%. So one of the things that you can put on your commitment and action plan is to let us do a 3-year tax return review. Our average clients are getting over $40,000 back. And if we don't help you get that much back, you'll make your money back some other way. But tax is huge. Then, not only you tax, then you do this odd thing called a 401k. So the very place that pays you, you give them back your money to maximize your 401k, and then they're going to put that back into the company, and they're going to pay somebody $50,000, $60,000 that went to a 2-week class to become a financial advisor who knows nothing really about money, but they get paid a lot of fees to put your money into bonds and mutual funds, and then round and round it goes. And then by law, if the company runs out of cash, it can go down and actually borrow your money. Welcome to Enron. Let's make that your next life. So horrible model. Then these people, right? This is the only way you make money. Here's the problem. You go on vacations, they're not deductible. You buy a new car, not deductible. You buy a new computer, right? Not deductible. You think debt, because you're taught wrong, is bad. And you think that having credit cards are bad, right? So this is what we're taught, right? Go make money, get taxed to pieces. And so when the politicians say, we're going to tax the rich, we're talking about W-2 earners. In fact, the number that's 25%, if you make $67,000 or more, you're in the top 25% of people in the United States that make the most money. So I don't know if you make 70, 80, 90,000. Are you feeling like you're in the top 25%? I can tell you, you are the people getting taxed. not people like me over here that own companies, LLCs, C Corps, limited partnerships, and trusts, right? Those companies have massive 81,000 pages of deductions. So we're going to make our money and we're going to go spend it on legal deductions. Over here, you're going to make it and you get taxed straight out. So when you know this, why would you continue to have this the only way to live in your life? And I'm not saying run out and quit your job. There was a day I used to teach that and say, go quit your job. We don't teach you that anymore. Keep your job. Some of you are horrible entrepreneurs. So just you'll be better off. And you can go have a company. So I'll teach you about that in a moment. So we're taught to get a job, get taxed to pieces, put your money in 401k, go on vacation, do all these things that you spend money with no deductions. You think that debt's bad, so you feel bad about spending. Then you're in this guilt cycle, which is crazy with money. You think credit cards are bad. There's even some really idiots that you teach you that you should get to cut up your credit cards, put them in the freezer. Are you kidding? Now you've taken yourself out of the financial system. Now you have bad credit. Now you can't get a mortgage. So this whole thing doesn't work. And at the end of it, they want you, and it's on every advertisement of typical firms, is we want you to retire. The problem with retirement, it's an agriculture word that means to put cattle to pasture to die. It has nothing to do in the dictionary with actually having any financial freedom. It has nothing to do. It's just a weird word. It should be deleted. And the problem is that only, I'm going to say about 90% of the people that are 65 years or more have less than $100,000 put away. So with all of the new health technology, stem cell transplants, all that kind of stuff, the stem cell enhancements, I'm going to say, how are you going to live the next 25, 30 years on 100 grand and think you're going to retire? This whole system is broke. Notice the year 1933. We are heading into 100 years and digital currency, blockchain. Like what's coming up in this next year, you're going to get left way behind. And yes, it's going to take some learning. You think that what you've learned financially is behind? Oh my God, wait till you see what we're going to teach you at the end of the call about where we're going financially. So this is how the rich are taught. So again, in 1930s, the rich started these companies. Actually, the companies were formed in Europe way before then. So companies have been around forever. So the companies get rich and they hire employees, right? So some of you have been making somebody that owns the company rich for a while. So at some point, you got to say, well, I can be a company. You can be a real estate company. You can do all sorts of things. And I'll tell you a few stories about that.
Explain a little bit about 1930, 1933. I don't think a lot of people know.
So 1933, 7 of the wealthiest families, still the wealthiest families in the world today, who created all the system. They own the pharmas. They own the media. Welcome to how the whole system's, been built. They went to Jekyll Island and they said, how do we systemize the sheep so they actually work for us? Well, let's create an industrial revolution. This is during the war. So welcome to the Industrial Revolution. And let's create jobs so we have a steady workforce so we can then produce, let's be honest, they were producing ammunition for the war. They were producing, Levi got created. They were creating, right? A lot of amazing companies got created and people went to work. And so then the education system just taught you, right, formed in the same structure. How do you decide what kind of worker you want to be and then go to school and specialize to be a worker? There's very few and only recently any good education on how do you become an entrepreneur? How do you run a company? How do you have an S Corp, a C Corp, an LLC, a limited partnership, or a trust? How do you take advantage of all these deductions? Then how do you put your money away? So, for example, we don't do 401ks. So I'll just kind of go back and forth. We do solo 401ks, and you can put up to $56,000 away tax-free. Then you can have a Roth IRA. In fact, every person in your family, including your children, should have a Roth IRA. That's places you can put your money tax-free, tax-deferred for growth. So can you imagine having some crypto inside of an LLC that's owned by a Roth? So let's just say, because we're going to give you some bonus coins for joining and playing as we go into this, I think it's critical. If we're going to teach money, you got to teach crypto, you got to teach digital currency. So can you imagine having a Roth own an LLC and your first investment, which is what mine was into a cryptocurrency, so into some coins. So now as I trade those coins or make money with those coins, that LLC makes money, but because it's in a Roth, it's tax-free, tax-deferred. So I can make 10X. I can make 500 times my money. I can put in 100,000 and make 10 million and I never pay tax. It is so extraordinary. So like, again, over on the other side, you're not taught to have a Roth, right? Roths are for rich people. So you need one of those. So this is all in sequence and order. Then we don't go on vacations. We go on business trips. So we travel everywhere around the world. And when you own real estate, or I have a couple that actually owns a wine business, And by the way, I'm in a direct sales business with one of the largest wine clubs in the world, make thousands of dollars selling people wine. That means anywhere I go in the world that I go wine tasting, it's now a business trip. Not fun? And if you want to do that with real estate, you can go to Malta and you can visit, because you're now going to be in a LLC or a business around crypto and digital currency. Their entire country runs and thrives in digital currency.
Thanks for listening to the Real Money Talks podcast. Your host has been Loral Langmeyer, author of 5 New York Times bestsellers, money expert on Dr. Phil, CNN, CNBC, The Street TV, Fox News, and The View. Want to learn more about off-Wall Street investing, tax strategies, and multi-million-dollar business strategies? Visit liveoutloud.com/podcast for past episodes, show notes, and resources. For some special wealth-building gifts only for Loral's podcast listeners, visit liveoutloud.com/podcast gifts. Do you have a burning question for Loral? Visit askloral.com to submit your question, and it may just be covered on a podcast episode. So stay tuned and be sure to subscribe to get new episodes every week.